unseasonably cold day as Brian, Brent, Michael T. and I decided to escape the gloom and doom media reporting on the rising Mississippi River and check things out for ourselves. Heading north on US 61, our sights were set on Natchez, Mississippi. Natchez sits at the top of the natural bluff and would certainly be high and dry, but it would also afford us a great vantage point from which to view the swollen river. Although the weatherman had predicted lots of sunshine, we were met with mostly cloudy skies, which added to the wintry feel of this mid-May day. But US 61 between Woodville and Natchez is a great stretch of highway, and it was a ride that even cold temperatures and cloudy skies could not spoil. After enjoying a sandwich at the Pig Out, one of the area's best barbecue restaurants, we headed to the river, but not before Michael T. showed us that he was ready for anything.
I don't want to get too wet. You can't. I was a Boy Scout. They said, be prepared. Here it is.
But Michael T.'s snorkel and floaty would be no match for Old Man River today. The view from the bluff was both breathtaking and sobering. Across the river on the Vidalia side, the Comfort Suites was surrounded by water. This hotel had been the anchor point for our El Camino ride last year. Today, a temporary flood wall was doing all it could to keep the river at bay. I can't tell you how many times I've enjoyed this view, but today I felt overwhelmed by the size and power of this enormous body of water. But this was only the beginning of our river journey, as we decided to head south on the Louisiana side along LA 15. LA 15 runs parallel to the Mississippi from Vidalia to Old River, and most of the time the roadway runs near the top of a levee, affording you a great view of the river batture. But today, as we rode along the levee, we could clearly see there was no batture at all. The Mississippi, which normally lies far beyond the trees, was right up against the levee and approaching the top.
Look how fast that water's I've been here before, and this is really high, and it's moving very fast. It's pretty scary looking.
Clearly the force and currents of the mighty river were evident here, but this is nothing compared to what we saw just a few miles down the road. Since the beginning of time, the lower Mississippi River has been meandering all across the land that is now called Louisiana, literally changing its course every 500 years or so. In the early 1960s, the Army Corps of Engineers was worried that the river would soon find its way to the Gulf down the Atchafalaya, something that could be a major economic disaster. So they built the Old River Control Structure, a series of dams and control gates that are designed to allow only 30% or so of the Mississippi River water to head down the Atchafalaya. But with the river now at record levels, the Old River Control Structure was doing all it could to limit the flow down the Atchafalaya. In the flood of 1973, this structure nearly failed, something that would have had catastrophic consequences. Since that flood, however, 2 other structures have been built near it to relieve some of the pressure. But as I stood here listening to the deafening sound of the water rushing through the gates, I couldn't help but think of Mark Twain's words once again. In this case, let's hope Mark Twain was wrong. For LA Rider, I'm TW.